City Council District 5 encompasses the Upper East Side and Roosevelt Island. Those neighborhoods really have a fantastic mix of things. They're a wonderful residential area with a terrific mix of different kinds of small businesses, and also really wonderful restaurants and bars. It's always been more economically diverse than people realize, and I think that's really increased in recent years.
District 5, it's a very diverse district. It covers parts of Yorkville, Lenox Hill, Carnegie Hill, Sutton Place, and Roosevelt Island. It starts about the East 50s, goes up to about the East 90s, and from 2nd Avenue to the East River.
We have a number of storefronts with small mom and pop businesses. We have a mixture of luxury high-rise buildings and walk-ups, which gives our neighborhood an incredibly diverse and very neighborly atmosphere.
District 5, it's not full of billionaires and rich people like we think it is. There are middle-class, hard-working, and lower-class, hard-working families that live there as well that are not taken into consideration.
When the 2nd Avenue subway was built, a lot of buildings were torn down. Developers purchased those buildings in expectations that they would build more profitable buildings, but then affordable housing was lost. We lost 26% of our affordable housing compared to other districts only lost 6%. I really think the city has to look at how zoning happens and to make considerations about quality of life and the people who live in those buildings and their livelihood.
Funding for our senior centers. This is actually an area that has a lot of elderly residents, and so particularly those folks have been very impacted by COVID, and so we'd like to see more services for them and more ways to help them as the city is recovering. Roosevelt Island also has unique challenges of its own. One of the big issues that we are dealing with now is the last bank that was on Roosevelt Island is closed, and so now there is no banking services there on Roosevelt Island for the residents there, which is particularly difficult for the seniors. And so that's something that the community is really pushing to get banking to return to Roosevelt Island and make sure that we have that again. We really need more community input on development. You know, we've seen a lot of development projects in recent years that aren't really bringing the community what it wants in many cases.
So hard for middle class when you're asking them to pay something like $4,000 a month. So what's going to happen is you're going to push out people from the community to find something that's more affordable for the amount of money that they're making. There's been a lot of businesses that's gone out of business before COVID happened because they're not able to keep up with the rent. And those were companies that I had seen in my area since I was like a child.
Things that concern us are the vibrancy of our businesses, keeping our community going, affordable housing, maintaining and growing its stock, and having some rational, reasonable development plan. But we have been fighting for a 210 height limit for buildings along the avenues, which has been going very slowly at the City Planning Commission. The community is fighting against New York Blood Center on East 67th Street, currently requesting an upzoning of their block so that they can build a 334-foot commercial tower when they need less than 80 feet high of space.
What we need in a council member is somebody who really has a deep local knowledge and a familiarity of the issues that we're facing here, and someone who's going to be able to be effective at addressing those, bringing more affordable housing to our neighborhood, increasing the amount of open space and really fighting to preserve the open space that we have, and someone who's really going to fight for education in our district and making sure that we have the school seats that we need. So somebody who has that knowledge and has that ability to bring the community together, to listen to the community and really serve our needs.
Through COVID, we've seen how important it is to have places where people can go outside and relax and get exercise. We do not have very many of those, so I expect our council person to really be fighting for the upgrades of the Esplanade and the parks that we have here on the Upper East Side.
I would hope that a city council member could be someone who could take into account the different needs of the constituents and not be pressured by big businesses or lobbies, and just really keep focused on the needs of the people who live here.
What I would like to see as far as a city councilman that represent the district would be really taking into consideration the middle class and lower class people that do live on the Upper East Side and having a better representation of them there.